Britain's Building Research Station in Hertfordshire, new ways and techniques of construction are investigated. This reinforced concrete beam, a major component in the new style prefabricated block of flats, is subjected to a series of stresses and the results noted. As nearly half the building work in Britain today comes under public authorities, government departments are taking a lead in encouraging any sound new method of construction that will help to produce homes more quickly. For over the next 10 years, building output must rise by 55%, with only a 2% estimated increase in the labour force. With official encouragement, industrialised building in Britain is forging ahead, and there are now 280 different systems. As yet, industrialised building methods are as expensive as bricks and mortar, but the saving is in time. A multi-storey block of flats which used to take more than 2 years to build can now be completed in less than 6 months. As the constructors finish one storey and move upwards, so the interior workers take over for decorating, laying floors and fitting complete kitchen units. On large sites, like this 17-storey block of flats being built in Surrey, another method is to precast the sections of the building on the site, to lay out a factory, in other words, from which the sections can be lifted by crane directly to the building. All the units, like these stairways, are made of reinforced concrete. Decorative facings of factory-made mosaic are laid onto concrete walls to relieve the monotony. Good design is important, of course, both outside and inside. But if Britain is going to win the battle on the housing front, a good deal of standardisation is unavoidable. In fact, it's the only way the job can be done if everyone is to have his own modern home in the foreseeable future.
There are 50 new towns growing up in Britain. In all our long history, nothing on this scale has ever happened before. Nothing to equal it is happening anywhere else in the world. New homes for 700,000 people. In the north of England, standing on the Durham coalfield, is Peterlee, named after a famous miners' leader. This is one of the most interesting large-scale housing schemes anywhere in Britain. Peterlee was designed to be the centre for 26 scattered settlements, which had grown up around the pit heads, and also to provide new homes for 30,000 people. In the old mining villages, there was no employment for women and girls, but there are lots of jobs going in the new town. Peterlee is rapidly becoming what it was designed to be, the centre of a whole district. Every new town is different. Harlow was designed to ease the congestion in London. It has more than 300 different types of houses, flats and maisonettes. In 10 years, the population has grown from 5,000 to 50,000. Henry Moore's famous family group sums up the spirit of Harlow and one of its major problems, children. Nearly half the population of Harlow are young married couples. There are about 20,000 children. To keep them occupied during the long summer holidays, a big play scheme has been organized. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Harlow is building its own sports centre. Here, youngsters from the town are helped by young volunteers from all over Europe. They work hard and they don't get paid. They consider it a job worth doing for love. Market Day is an old tradition in Britain, as old as the oldest town and as new as the newest. Harlow's marketplace is more than a collection of stalls. It's a place of excitement, of the unexpected, of a bargain to be gloated over long after. Was it so different 1,000 years ago? Perhaps here is one answer to what makes a town more than just a lot of houses. A town is also the people in it, their meeting and mixing, their jostling and laughing, their indignation and their pleasure.
A new town expressly designed for the motor car age, on the basis that every family living in it will own a car. A town where traffic is concentrated on motorway-type roads built for free flow and safety. A town of peaceful coexistence between motorist and pedestrian. It's Cumbernauld in Scotland, and its planners have found a way of getting over some of the problems of a car-owning community. Here's one of the housing areas where no car can enter and where children can play without risk of being run over. And for the 70,000 people who will live in Cumbernauld, there'll be special pedestrian routes, footways with a built-in row of bricks that lead to the town centre and shops. It's what the planners call a second-generation new town, and it's going up to relieve overcrowding in Glasgow. Its centre is on a deck above the approach road, with shops and business premises on the deck. Yet even as Cumbernauld grows and its builders work on the town that's meant to meet the impact of the motor car, it may have been overtaken in the high-speed drive into tomorrow. For some experts are already saying that its basis of one car to one family isn't enough, that many families in the future will own two cars. If the motor car is not to become our master, Britain has to face a revolution as drastic in its own way as the Industrial Revolution of nearly 200 years ago. There are some people who like a place that's a bit out of the ordinary. Perhaps something like this. Here's one for sale at Winterton-on-Sea in Norfolk. This lighthouse, built in 1840, was closed in 1921 because the build-up of the sand dunes took the sea a quarter of a mile away from it. Then it was turned into a home. Now, with a big bungalow built onto the back of it, it can be said to have every mod con. During World War II, the room at the top was used as a gun site. Today, it's been converted into a sunroom, a room with a very special view. Few of England's oast houses are used today for their original purpose of drying hops. But some people have discovered that they can form the basis of a beautiful home. These oast houses at Halstead in Kent were built about 80 years ago and were later converted. Most of the rooms are circular, which is fine so long as you don't want to hang pictures on the walls. They have to be stuck on without frames. Built to guard the Kent and Sussex coast when Napoleon threatened invasion, Martello Towers are today mostly crumbling monuments to a dictator's frustrated ambition. But this one near Hythe has achieved a new role as a holiday home for a London family. Not far away, at St Margaret's Bay near Dover, a blockhouse was built for artillery use in 1910. Today, it too is a holiday house. The kitchen still has the lookout window. The sitting room window bay has been built onto the back of the house, and with walls nearly 2 feet thick, it's cool even in a hot summer. This house is a real do-it-yourself effort. It was designed and built at Highgate, London by architect Walter Siegel for him and his family to live in while their new permanent home was being built at the other end of the garden. Put together like a boy's construction set, the house is made of slabs of compressed wood chips. The slabs, 2 feet wide, are held in position by battens, and the wallpaper is wedged behind them. Sizes of rooms can be altered by moving the partitions. Though planned for temporary use, the house could have a life of about 40 years. It cost less than £900. The whole thing can be entirely dismantled in about 10 days. And here's the home of an ex-railwayman who just couldn't live away from railways. Just before he retired, signalman Alfred Barrett bought the disused station building at Little Kimble in Buckinghamshire and turned it into a home. Mr. and Mrs. Barrett still see trains every day, for Little Kimble is now officially a halt, and many stop there. The dining room was once the porter's rest room. The sitting room was the general waiting room and booking office. After 8 years, the Barretts have transformed the station house, and the garden is looked after in the best railway tradition.